Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So if you've seen previous videos on this channel, and if you haven't, that's fine, but if you have, then you would most likely know by now how much I covet forwards in the NHL that are responsible in their own zone. So while thinking about that the past couple days especially, that has led me to making this kind of video. So for this video, I will be listing the top 10 depth forwards in the NHL this season, in my opinion, and obviously there will be some players that I'm leaving out because there are plenty of very strong depth forwards in the NHL that do not get enough recognition, but this is a list of 10, in my opinion, that have really stood out this season, especially. So just to throw in some criteria here, I am not listing guys like Alex Killorn and Brian Rust, in case you were wondering. They are two both very strong top six forwards this season, and because of the higher opportunity they have had this season, they have played above expectations and have pretty much made themselves a lock in their top six other respective teams for the entirety of this season. So because of that reason, I do not have either of them on this list because I don't view them as depth forwards as they were viewed in years prior. So just in case you're wondering, that's why I don't have them on this. But my other criteria is I did not want to pick forwards who have only been in the league for a couple of seasons, and the reasoning is we don't necessarily know their ceiling yet, and there are of course young players in the AHL that are considered depth forwards right now because of the type of team that they're on and how unbelievably deep they are. So that all goes into this list as well. So I picked guys who have basically been close to, if not seasoned veterans by now, who we know pretty much what their ceiling is, but just because they don't have so much offensive production doesn't necessarily mean they're bad players, because they're not. On this list, I will be discussing plenty of players, in my opinion, who may not be as strong on the offensive front, but their defensive game, their neutral zone game, and especially being first team penalty kill for their respective teams is incredibly important, in my opinion. So starting off this list, I have Andrew Kopp, and I don't have this list from like 1 to 10 or 10 to 1. I just have 10 players in general. So Andrew Kopp is the first guy I had, and he has really been a player, in my opinion, that does not get much recognition at all, whether it be because he plays in Winnipeg or because of the fact that the Jets have so many superstars on the offensive front. Whatever it may be, Kopp has been unbelievably solid for the Jets throughout his career thus far, and especially on the penalty kill, he is fantastic in his own zone, neutral zone, when it comes to back checking, forward checking. He truly does it all, and because of reasons like that, those aren't necessarily stats that you would see right away unless you went into advanced analytics. So the casual hockey fan, if you will, would just look at his numbers and be like, oh, there really isn't a whole lot there, but I disagree. So Kopp this season in 63 games played has 10 goals, 16 assists for 26 points, and a plus-minus of -3. So whether he plays on the wing or center, Kopp contributes tremendously for the Winnipeg Jets, and he's only one of many that deserves more recognition for the little things he does. Next on my list, I have Matt Calvert. Matt Calvert, from every single game that I've watched him, I hate playing against him. As a Rangers fan, watching my team go up against him, whether it's him when he was with Columbus or him with Colorado, he's such a pesky player, and he gets in the nit and gritty on a nightly basis. This season, especially Calvert, in only 50 games played, because he did take a shot to the face, and I believe that was by Elias Pettersson or someone else on Vancouver, while Calvert was on the penalty kill, might I add. Regardless, Calvert is just a fantastic overall player, is such a hard-nosed player too, is not big in stature by any means, but he will defend his teammates every which way. So in 50 games played, he has 12 goals, 13 assists for 25 points, and a plus-minus of +13. Calvert is one of many players on the Colorado Avalanche that could have been deserving on this list, but he is one that has really stood out to me this season, given all the obstacles that he faces on a nightly basis and overcomes them, and just overall he's not a big statured guy, and he plays so much bigger than his actual size, and I give him tremendous credit for that. He's a solid skater as well, and like I said, he's a big part of Colorado on their penalty kill and 5-on-5. You can put him anywhere in the lineup and he will do wonders for you. So next on my list, I have Jesper Fast, and this is unbiasedly, but as a Rangers fan, just watching Fast on a nightly basis for quite some time now, he's such an underrated player, easily the most underrated player on the Rangers roster. He goes everywhere throughout the lineup, wherever you need to put him. He has absolutely no problem with it. He does not complain at all, and he does not make that line any worse, and if anything, he makes it better. He's been solid on the second line, especially with the Rangers, alongside Ryan Strome, and Artemi Panarin this season, and he just is a perfect glue guy. Like I said, anywhere you put him, he's very strong on the penalty kill and 5-on-5. Fast this season is 69 games played, has 12 goals, 17 assists for 29 points, and a plus-minus of +16. Whether you put him on either side, right wing, left wing, whatever it may be, he has done so many great things for the New York Rangers and their team overall. And going back to when Alain Vigneault was still the head coach of the New York Rangers, he viewed as Fast as arguably his favorite player, and rightfully so. And I think David Quinn, the Rangers' current head coach, is seeing just how strong he is in all zones. He's so reliable, and especially in the locker room, he has a voice as one of the leaders for the New York Rangers. So all those things contribute to him and the team's success. Next, I have Derek Ryan. Derek Ryan is a really awesome story if you don't know him. Ryan started out his career with Carolina Hurricanes, but is currently in his second season with the Calgary Flames. He was a part of the trade, I believe, that sent Noah Hannafin going to Calgary. I could be wrong, but I thought he was thrown in there. Or he was just, I think he might have just been a free agent signing, actually. But regardless, Ryan did not come in the NHL until his late 20s. I believe he was around 27, 28, because he's 33 years young now. And he has really been strong for the Calgary Flames, who have had a somewhat depleted offense this season, not putting up the numbers like they have in years prior. They have been definitely more defensively sound. But Ryan has been a key contributor to their success in their bottom six, wherever they may put him, and on the penalty kill. Ryan, in 68 games played this season, has 10 goals, 19 assists for 29 points, and a plus-minus of 9. So, +9. So, like I said, Ryan is a smaller statured centerman as well, but that does not change anything when it comes to his game. He's unbelievably solid in both ends, and like I said, he does contribute points. He has gotten close to 40 points in his young career already, because it's only his 4th full season in the NHL. So overall, Derek Ryan is such a fun story, and if you haven't followed him, you really should, because there's so much to like when it comes to him and his journey into the NHL. Next on my list, I have Yoel Armia. Yoel is one of those guys who I think was expected more of, especially when he was originally drafted by the Winnipeg Jets. But the offensive production was just never there. But he's shown flashes of brilliance throughout his young career, but it just hasn't been consistent enough. But since being with the Montreal Canadiens, wherever they put him, especially in the top six, he's really done a lot for them. And he's a big body forward as well at 6'4", but that doesn't really change much of his game. He doesn't necessarily play like a big-bodied forward, if you will. He's not very aggressive or anything like that, but he is a very smooth skater. He's very reliable in his own zone, and he will have some big nights for you every now and then. So Yoel this season, 58 games played, has 16 goals, 14 assists for 30 points, and a plus-minus of +2. He just always stands out to me every single time I watch him, truly, and he's one that I'm really curious as to see if he has already hit his ceiling or if there's a little bit more left in the tank when it comes to more offensive production. So time will tell, but Yoel definitely deserves some more recognition as he is a crucial part of the Montreal Canadiens offense. Next, I have Carl Soderberg for the Arizona Coyotes. So Soderberg has been in the league for a while. He's played, obviously, before Arizona. He was with the Colorado Avalanche for a bit, and he played some really strong hockey with them. He's had over 40-plus point seasons, and wherever you throw him as well, he's another one of those guys who is reliable in his own zone, especially on the penalty kill. Soderberg, with the unbelievably depleted offense with the Arizona Coyotes, has provided much-needed offense for them in times where they have dealt with injuries, and he has been thrown up more in the top six at times, and he's been in the bottom six. He has really been everywhere, and he does not seem to complain about it one bit. Soderberg this season, 70 games played, has 17 goals, 18 assists for 35 points, and a plus-minus of +6. Whether you put him on the left wing or the center, Soderberg, you know exactly what you're going to be getting from him. He is a 40-plus point forward in your bottom six, and you can't go wrong with that by any means. Next on my list, I have Tyler Bozak. Tyler Bozak is one of those guys who reminds me a lot of Derek Stepan as a Rangers fan, obviously, but their game seems very similar in my opinion. Didn't put up the offensive numbers that maybe one would have expected from them, but is unbelievably reliable in their own zone and has a solid shot. Bozak is in the latter years of his career now at the age of 34, but that is not stopping him by any means. Since coming to the St. Louis Blues and being in a more limited role, he has really thrived in their bottom six, along with plenty of other forwards who I would have mentioned, but in my opinion just haven't played in the league long enough to be on this list, but St. Louis has so much depth, it's ridiculous. But Bozak this season in 67 games played has 13 goals, 16 assists for 29 points. And the centerman has, like I said, just really done a lot of great things for the St. Louis Blues team, really being solid wherever they need him. If there's injuries, then he'll go up in that top 6 and do just fine. Or not, he'll stay in the bottom 6 and do plenty of great things for them, especially on the penalty kill and the 5-on-5. You know what to expect from him night in and night out. And for a guy who is kind of in the latter years of his career, it doesn't seem to be slowing him down one bit, and he's proving that maybe Toronto gave up on him just a little bit too soon. So next on my list, I have Charlie Coyle. And Coyle is one of those guys who has really changed his game quite a bit since coming to the Boston Bruins. He has hit 50-plus points in his career, but he has dealt with injuries as well when he was with the Minnesota Wild. But since coming over to Boston, which is his homeland where he's from, he has done a fantastic job for them, as they are one of the deepest teams in all of the NHL in the center position, all in part because of Coyle being on that third line. And obviously, if, say, David Krejci has been hurt, he has been in the top 6 and has done just fine. Coyle is arguably one of the best depth forwards in all the NHL, in my opinion, especially this season. He's a big-bodied centerman that knows how to skate. He has smooth hands and a solid shot, and he's really reliable in his own zone, especially on the penalty kill. If you're one-on-one with him, it is not easy to get around him, as his size and overall strength on the puck will become a problem night in and night out. So Coyle this season in 70 games played has 16 goals, 21 assists for 37 points, and has a plus-minus of +9. So, like I said, Charlie has really done a fantastic job, in my opinion, for Boston. Has taken a team-friendly contract to make sure that he stays with Boston on this really all-in now team when it comes to winning, as they got this close to winning the Stanley Cup last season. So expect Coyle to be a key contributor in their success if this season resumes and the Bruins obviously make it into playoffs. Next on my list, I have Brett Connolly. Brett Connolly has really been a late bloomer type forward in the NHL. Has bounced around quite a bit, but has proven over the past, I would want to say like 3-4 seasons, that he is a very reliable goal scorer. You can expect 20 goals from him each year, and he's reliable in his own zone, can contribute on the penalty kill, and one that was a high draft pick years ago, but really did not live up to that hype, but has since then been a unbelievably reliable depth forward for whichever team takes a chance on him. Connolly this season in 69 games played has 19 goals, 14 assists for 33 points, and a plus-minus of +3. I like a lot about Connolly's game, and I thought that was a fantastic signing by the Florida Panthers when they got him this past offseason. And to finish off this list, I have the highest guy when it comes to point production on average on this list, and that is Patrick Hornqvist. Patrick Hornqvist is another unbelievably pesky player to play against. Night in and night out, he is so hard on the puck. He causes things. He can get into fights if he needs to. He chirps plenty, but he is a key contributor to the Penguins' success, and when he was on the Predators, their success as well. Hornqvist, even though he's dealt with injuries this season, has not stopped his offensive production. In 52 games played, he has 17 goals, 15 assists for 32 points, and a plus-minus of +9. Hornqvist, in my opinion, is a fantastic player to have on your team, and he has been playing more of the bottom 6 this season when he's been healthy, all in part because of Brian Rust's success in the top 6. That has not slowed him down by any means, and like I said, he's just a fantastic overall player. You hate to play against him, but you love to have him on your team. And I do believe he's the only player in NHL history to date to be the last pick in his draft year and win a Stanley Cup. So if that's the case, that is a pretty awesome statistic. And like I said, Hornqvist is a very pesky player, but rightfully so. It is a key part of his game, and it leads to a lot of success wherever he may be in the lineup. So that being said, that is going to be it for this video. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, all those great things. If you agree, disagreed with me on my video, my list really, and if you say I have different opinions on like why didn't I mention certain players, please let me know. I would love to hear it. So with all that being said, thank you so much. Check out previous videos if you haven't, and I will be back in a day or two.